Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time we navigated through the rest of the Seaside Cave, and we made our way here to this little nook of Route 21. And this time, I think we should just take a couple steps forward and see what awaits us. You found them! I knew you could do it! But how do we get in? Hold up. And a heavy gangplank fell with a solid thud. Yeah, this should do it. I thought you weren't going to fight Team Plasma. Hey friends, Team Plasma's not bothering me. They could be up to no good for reals, and it's not my style to go around deciding Team Plasma's bad without thinking about it just 'cause everyone says so. But, you're having trouble, so I've got to help out. That's what I want to do. Thanks. Listen, Kay, believe in something. Searching for stolen Pokemon is fine. Keeping Unova from being iced over is fine, too. It's all good. But think about why you're doing that. The strength of your beliefs is what gives you and your Pokemon power. I made some noise, so some people came out. Hey, be careful, Kay? What was that? That guy sure doesn't follow through. Well, I guess he was being kind in his own way. Alright, I'm going in. And off Hugh goes. Now, I don't think there's anything out here for us. At least I'm pretty sure there's not. Yeah, I think this is just a little bit of water. I don't think there's anything beyond it. So, let's board, for the second time in our adventure, I think, the Plasma Frigate. Take care of that guy. He's no problem for you, right? You must be friends of Smiley Swimsuit, that guy who lowered the gangplank. Smiley Swimsuit, I love that. Ah, you even got the roadblock Crustle out of the way. Here I come. Plasma! And yes, we're not skipping any beats here. We are going right into fighting against Team Plasma once again. Except this time, I don't think they're going to be fit with letting us just get kicked off the deck. I think we're going to have to get really deep into this to see what the deal is with these guys. And I think that's just what we are going to do, so let's nail this Mightyena with a Thunderbolt right off the bat here. And it's a one-shot, very nice. And up next is Houndoom. I think we are going to switch in Gastrodon for this one, give everyone a fair share of action. Alrighty, I am noticing that Magnezone is a little high leveled, and I'm thinking I'm going to want to level up some other members of the team going forward here, so I might switch around the team once we get to a good little stopping point where I can jump cut and do all that. But anyway, let's hit this Houndoom with a Surf attack right here. And down it goes. Mandibuzz gets level 66, which is very good. And up next is Scolipede, and I think Victini is going to be a good fit for that one. You definitely want to play your type advantages when playing this game, no doubt. Alrighty, last Pokemon up by this guy is Scolipede. Let's hit it with a Flame Burst. Alrighty. Super effective, critical hit. Wow, nice. And down it goes. What is this? Plasma! I love these guys. Oh no, the hatch is still open. Okay, this time we'll check out the ship. When we were in Driftvale City, Zinzalin came from this direction. Now, one interesting thing about this area is it is actually different depending on which version of the game you're playing. I believe during this particular visit to the Plasma Frigate, you can actually go this way, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly what changes, but I know the puzzle is different because, spoiler alert, there is a little bit of a puzzle to navigating this place. Anyway, right here, TM67 Retaliate. Now, it is worth noting, once you complete this area right here, you won't be able to access it for a little while after that. So if there's anything you want to grab in this area, Better do it now, because you're not going to get another opportunity for a little bit. Anyway, this guy right here is asleep. So we cannot go that way, so we have to go up this way. Now it looks like there's actually two ways to go right here, but there is an item right here. A revive, definitely something worth picking up for the fights ahead. And down here, this is the place. Okay, I'm going. Anyway, let's follow him. Who are you? Just to let you know, you're about to feel my rage. Now, is this a double battle? It is! Cool! Alrighty, we get to see what Hugh's been up to since the last time we fought him, which I think was back in Undella Town, although I think we did a tag battle with him in Lacunosa. Oh wow, he's got an Electros. That is one of my favorite Pokemon introduced in Generation 5. This thing is awesome. Just saying. It's an electric type with Levitate, which effectively means it has no weaknesses unless its ability is somehow neutralized, which I think is really cool of an idea. And the thing is, Electros is a legitimately good Pokemon on top of that, so like, you had Sableye and Spiritomb all the way up to this game with no weaknesses, but I felt like they weren't all that great, but Electros is legitimately good, and I think in Generation 6 it is the only Pokemon to have no weaknesses, considering the advent of the Fairy type. So yeah, I think Electros is a really cool Pokemon just based on that alone. I really wish they would have given Clement one in the anime, but they gave him a Luxray, which I am perfectly okay with, so I guess I'm not too fussed about that. Anyway, got more Pokemon coming out, Honchkrow and Kangaskhan. I'm going to be gunning for that Honchkrow because of the type advantage, but I have a feeling Electros is also going to be aiming that direction, but we'll never know because I actually got a one-shot on this thing. That is awesome. I think I'm a little bit above the level curve at this point, but considering some of the AI choices in this game are quite devilish, I don't really mind being a little bit over-leveled. Alrighty, anyway, that Kangaskhan is not going to get a knockout, but I think it's the last Pokemon that is going to be used by these guys, so let's just blast it with a Thunderbolt and finish this. Nice. Ah, I'm so super annoyed. You are 100% perfect intruders. Why, thank you. Yeah, we have to tell the others. Oh no, we have to protect the switches. They didn't have Purloin with them. Barriers, huh? The Team Plasma member was saying, oh, I got it, we should press the switches to deactivate the barriers. David, let's split up and look for them. Yes, we have to press each switch, as you can see, in each of these rooms. Ouch. Be careful, the barriers are electrified. We have to press each of these switches in order to deactivate the barriers. This is different in Volt White 2. In Volt White 2, you actually have to search the ship for hints to a password, which you can then enter to unlock the door. Again? Wait, no need to be suspicious. This uniform is just a disguise. I'm X-Team Plasma. Oh, I guess that means we should whisper. What I am now is a spy, to guard against anything bad they might cook up. It might be a hard job keeping an eye on your former allies. Say, you don't know anything about a Purloin stolen in Aspertia, do you? Sorry, but I don't know anything about that. That's what I figured. I wouldn't expect someone from a group bent on world domination to be all that quick on the uptake. Oh, but I honestly wanted to save Pokemon. Again, they're mentioning the actual, like, moral crisis in the Black and White storyline, which I think was just a really cool thing altogether. I'm the fighting sweeper. I'll clean up garbage like you. Hey, who you calling garbage, man? I mean, I'm not the one wearing a stupid pirate outfit. Anyway, he's only got one Pokemon, which isn't too bad, but it does happen to be a Scizor, which is something definitely worth being scared over. But Scizor is probably one of the more interesting Pokemon because when it evolves from Scyther, its base stat total does not change. which I find really, really interesting. So basically, in the choice between Scyther and Scizor, at least at this point in the series, it's basically personal preference because each one can be used differently. Now, of course, that bias sort of went away a little bit in Generation 6 when they gave Scizor a Mega Evolution. But I mean, I get the impression that Scizor is not one of the most commonly used Mega Evolutions, so I guess Scyther could still be viable in terms of how viable it is compared to Scizor. I can't remember how to use the warp panels to get around, and they won't give me a Pokemon yet, but even a guy like me has something useful to share. You step on 4 switches to remove the barrier. Indeed we do. Anyway, right here, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Plasma! I have no idea why they made it so these guys shout that every chance they get, but I guess it is pretty characteristic of them. I find it kind of amusing. And anyway, right here we have Drapion, which is something a little scary. Dark Poison, as I've probably mentioned in this series before. Let's switch over to Lucario and see how well this will do. I think Drapion is weak to fighting. I'm not positive, though. It depends on how fighting interacts with poison, which is something I don't actually remember at the moment. So hopefully it'll turn out well. Gonna take a Night Slash to the face for good measure, and Aura Sphere. It is only normal effective. Well, that's disappointing, but we got a one-shot nonetheless, which is awesome. Gastrodon gets level 65. And we win again. Do-over. Come on, let me have a do-over. No siree, ma'am. And anyway, now that I am thinking about it, Magnezone is pretty high up in the levels, so I think I'm actually going to reorganize this team a little bit. So I will be right back while I do that. Alrighty, that seems good. Victini is now holding the Amulet Coin, Mandibuzz is holding the Lucky Egg, and Garchomp is holding the Experience Share. I think that'll be good, and I definitely want Victini to be strong for the fights coming up, because it is going to be useful as a result of its typing. I have no idea if there are any hidden items on the ground here, but I'm keeping this thing at the ready just in case. Our king is gone, but we are still here. Yes, indeed you are. Now, basically the way I'm going to be going through this area is I'm going to be doing as much as I can without touching the warp panels. And then next episode, I think we are going to be going through the warp panels and dealing with all of these switch tripping, so I hope nobody is bothered by that. Anyway, here we have Skuntank, which is part dark, which means we can't use psychic moves on it, which is a little unfortunate. And of course it's going to hit us with a Night Slash, which is going to hurt a bit, but I'm pretty sure one of the beds in this room can actually be used to heal yourself, which I find really funny. It's like how in Sylph Company in the original games, you could take a nap in the middle of the enemy team's base, and you'd be completely fine. Now, is it just any one of these? Or it might be another room altogether. It's one of these rooms. Target acquired. Termination will now begin. Yeesh. This guy's really enthusiastic about bringing us down. Alrighty. Team Plasma Grunt sends out Muck. Alrighty, that is a very good type matchup for my Victini, which I appreciate because I really want Victini to get a lot of experience in this area. So let's smash this thing with a Zen Headbutt, which is probably one of my favorite moves just because of the sound effect it makes. It's a really exotic sound, I like it. Get lots of experience for that, and up next is Raticate, which is not weak to any of my types explicitly, but I think Psychic coming out of a Victini that outlevels this thing by 8 is probably not going to do it any favors at all. And it actually survives, and hits me with a super effective move. That hurt a little bit. Alright, let's try Headbutt. I'm a little conflicted on whether or not I want to keep Headbutt. I might replace it with Toxic even. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, down goes the trainers in this room, and I think up next we will move into this room. The legendary Pokemon that created the Unova region, Reshiram. And the other legendary Pokemon, Zekrom. If you have these Pokemon, it's so easy to control the Unova region, right? Talk to this lady if you want to get entries for Reshiram and Zekrom into your Pokedex. We will obviously be encountering them later because this is a 649 hack, but it is definitely worth mentioning because that is where you're going to get some data for them a bit early on if you want it. In my own way, I'm a strong part of this Team Plasma group. People call me the Bisharp Woman. Interesting, alright. I'm assuming this lady's gonna have a Bisharp. Or maybe even 3, I don't know. For some reason, Team Plasma Grunts like using Pokemon from this line. I'm not entirely sure why. Because I get the feeling that pirates, actual pirates, wouldn't have heard of Power Rangers because I think I've mentioned before that Bisharp looks like a friggin' Power Ranger, if we're gonna be honest about it. And up next we have Pupitar, which is really not a good match for Victini at all. So I think we're gonna switch out to Lucario for this one. Now it's kind of funny, I think Lucario hit level 60 all the way back in Driftveil City, and its growth has been very slow since then, so it's actually pretty much on par with the rest of the team, which I find really cool actually. It felt a little bit wrong having Lucario so overpowered, but it's sort of just the way it happened. So it's nice having everyone on this equal playing field going forward here. And I'm thinking that's more than likely how it's going to stay for the remainder of the series, which I'm pretty happy about. Anyway, we're going to switch back into Victini here. And we've got Vileplume coming out. Let's hit it with a Flame Burst. That ought to bring it down. And I'm remembering we actually very recently caught a Vileplume, which is pretty interesting to think about. Get lots of experience for that, and down she goes. I have to wonder if she actually had 3 Bisharp in the original game, but it was changed by the hack maker. Intruder sighted! I'll have you know that the Pokemon I'm about to use was stolen from a child. Interesting. What Pokemon could this possibly be? It is Scrafty. Okay, so it's not a Purloin, which is a little unfortunate. And of course, I'm pretty sure Scrafty is actually Dark and Fighting, which is not a good matchup for Victini once again. A little unfortunate, but I guess that's how things go. So I think I'm going to switch over to Lucario for this. Once again. I'm trying not to use Lucario too much, because it is still the highest leveled member of our team. But I feel like if we're in a situation where we need to use it, we should probably use it. Anyway, I think this Aura Sphere will knock out Scrafty right here. I'd be very surprised if it didn't, considering we overleveled this thing by about 14. And lots of experience. And, ooh, Liepard. That is definitely interesting. I wonder if this could possibly be the Liepard stolen from Hugh's sister 5 years ago. Unfortunately, regardless of whether or not that is the case, we have no choice but to attack it and knock it out. Quite the moral quandary here, wouldn't you say? What a weak Pokemon. I'll just have to go steal some better ones. If we steal Pokemon, the number of trainers in the world will go down. Then we won't have any more enemies. Very eerie indeed. Now I know one of these rooms allows you to heal on the beds, I just don't know which one it is. Alrighty, I think we're going to move up to this corner of the ship. Nobody has used the beds in this room. If you think I'm lying, take a look, then take a rest. Okay, this guy is basically a traitor. TM60's Sucker Punch, that's a pretty good move. And right here, we can actually heal. We can hop in the bed and fall asleep right in the middle of the enemy's base. Again, makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, right through here. How about we see how well I can use this Pokemon I got? Man, it's just sad hearing these guys speak about these Pokemon they've stolen with such wanton. It's creepy, in a way. Like, it's legitimately unsettling in a way, which I think is very good for the atmosphere of a Pokemon game. Anyway, you've got a Wheezing right here. Gonna want to blast that thing with a Psychic right off the bat. And there we go. Victini's quickly approaching level 64, which is a really nice number, as I've mentioned before. And right over here... Aren't you pretty confident waltzing right into the enemy's stronghold? I don't know, I'd say I'm probably pretty confident. And right here we have yet another Team Plasma Grunt. There are a lot of these guys running around on this ship. Anyway, we've got a Crocodile coming out right here, which once again really isn't the best matchup for Victini, so I think I'm going to have to switch out again. Which is a little unfortunate, but them's the ropes. Wow, that actually did a decent amount of damage. Alright, please take this Earthquake. I don't want my switch to be in vain. Okay, good. And Surf brings down Crocodile. At least I'm counting on it bringing down Crocodile. And it does. Critical hit for good measure. Awesome. That should put Victini in... Oh, wow, it didn't. Okay, well, we got a Magnezone coming out, which is interesting, which is definitely a good matchup for Victini. So, let's get Victini back out onto the field to get that last couple of pixels to level 64. And it actually survived that. Not even with Sturdy, just an actual survival. That's kind of crazy. And down goes Magnezone with another hit, and now Victini gets level 64. Very good, and so does Garchomp. Sweet. Ah, no wonder you're so confident with that kind of strength. Alrighty, there's one more of these rooms to take out, and then I think we'll be good to end things off. Warning, warning, intruders in the vessel. Everyone, please respond. Huh. I actually forgot that little event happened. Even if we don't have our hero anymore, we still won't lose. Team Plasma still clinging to this broken ideology. Again, it's a little bit of an unsettling plot point, but it is there, and I find it pretty interesting for a Pokemon game. Anyway, Sneasel is weak to Flame Burst. Let's do it. Down it goes, a little bit of experience, and up next is Druddigon, which is an interesting one. I'm going to send out Garchomp for this one, because even though we're weak to Dragon, I'm almost certain we're faster. And if we are faster, then we're definitely going to bring it down in one shot, because we have Dragon Claw. Nice. Rough Skin does a decent bit of damage. A little unfortunate. And up next is Zweilous, which I think, same logic, we're going to stay in, because I'm counting on us outspeeding and hit it with a Dragon Claw. Very good. Get lots of experience for that. Plasma! Glory to Team Plasma! Yeesh. Like, it's just creepy in a way. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we cannot actually proceed south from this point. The other side of this area is, I think, what you would be exploring if you were playing Volt White 2. But don't worry, eventually we're going to be exploring that other side. But I think with that, we are going to end things off here. So, this past episode of Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we began our infiltration of the Plasma Frigate. And next time, hopefully we'll be tripping all of the switches to get into the inner chambers of the frigate to see what Team Plasma's evil power plot is. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.